Hi, Adela.
Hi,
How are you?
fine, thanks for asking, and you?
I'm good. It's still a heat wave here in California, so I'm very hot, very warm today.
Uh, in Valencia is warm too, but about 25 degree
That's
Celsius
hot.
degree.
Yeah, but that sounds nice. Do you go to the beach when it's hot?
Um, no, today no, because I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
I work this morning. Uh, the next weekend, uh, I think. I'm planning to go to the beach if the weather continue warm.
Mm-hmm. And
Follow.
do you like to swim in the ocean?
Mm, yes, but the water is is cold
Mm-hmm. Same as
because
here.
yes, it's after in 2 months or 3 months this is warm the water. In
Mm-hmm.
September, for example, in September is warmer warmer
Mm-hmm.
than the May or June.
Yeah,
uh,
it's the same.
because yes,
Mm-hmm. It's too cold to swim in the ocean now, but it will be very nice in a few months. Like you said, in September, I'll be in the ocean a lot.
yes.
Oh, we have some other students. Hi there. How do you say your name?
Hello.
Hi, we have Diego here. Hi, Diego.
Hello, good night.
How are you?
Can you hear me?
I
Fine,
can hear
thanks.
you. Can you? Is
Okay.
it um, is it very warm where you are?
Yeah, maybe 25 degrees.
That's warm.
Maybe 20.
Yeah.
20
Hmm.
degrees.
Oh, 20. I thought you said 35.
Yeah, my mistake.
Ah, that'd be very warm. I was telling Adela that there's a heat wave in California, and
Hmm.
it's a few days of very high temperatures.
How about?
It's well, we use Fahrenheit here, but let me see. I can change it to Celsius and tell you how hot it is. And looks like we have a couple other students. Um, how do you say your name? Is it are the Hello Kitty?
Heide. My name is Heide.
Haide? Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Where are you from, Haide?
From Japan.
Oh, from Japan. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we have, is it Verlies?
Yes, hello. My name is Veronica.
Oh, Veronica. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
My name is Maureen.
Hello, Maureen.
Hi. And where are you from, Veronica?
I'm from Ecuador.
Okay. And thank you for joining my class today. Let's see here.
Thank you too.
Just writing down everyone's names. And another new student. Hi there. What's your name? Hello? I'm not sure how to read your name, uh, but because I don't read in the is it Russian? Okay, well we'll figure that out later. Okay, so I wanted to give a few minutes for everyone to get started to join our class. So I'm going to send you all the link to the article we are reading today. And because I'm thinking about this summer, I'm thinking about where I want to go traveling, and I want to talk about travel today. So we're going to talk about travel etiquette. And here is the link to the article. Can you see it in the chat?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so please
Yeah.
click on that link and get started reading it, and you can read it over first. We'll take about 7 minutes to read the article, and then we'll discuss it and read it out loud, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Jorge. You there, Jorge? Hi, Hussein. Nice to see you again. Are you there?
Hello.
Oh, hi. Now I can hear
Ah,
you.
great.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I had some troubles, I think.
Okay, well, that's better. I just had no idea how to pronounce your name.
Yes, I know that. So it's
I,
Daria.
yeah, okay, good to meet you. Nice to meet you, Daria. Okay, so for those of you who just joined, Daria, Jorge, and Hussein, if you go into the chat, there's a link for the article we're reading today. Okay, I'll post it again.
Mm-hmm.
And so click on that, please, and we're going to take a few minutes, about 5 more minutes to read it. Oh, hi, Jorge. I'm glad it worked out. And we'll start discussing that in about 5 minutes. So if you haven't read through it all, that's okay. We're just going to get a quick chance to take a look at it and pay attention to unfamiliar vocabulary. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, everyone, go ahead and read for the next 5 minutes, okay? Hi, Sampoi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm very good, Maureen.
Good. So we're reading right now. There's a link to the article in the chat. So take a few minutes to look at the article, and then we will read it together and discuss. Okay?
Can you paste the link again?
Sure.
Okay,
There you
thank
go.
you.
You're welcome.
we need to read second page.
Yes. Oh, hi Sasha, I didn't see you there. Did you get the link to the article?
Hello? No, I just joined.
Okay, here's the link. We're taking a minute to look it over.
Uh-huh.
But how is everyone doing? Have you finished reading?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, so let's take a couple more minutes, maybe 4 more minutes. And if you don't finish, that's okay. We're going to read it together.
Okay.
Okay, how about now? Have you got a chance to read most of the article?
Yes, it's okay.
Yes? Okay. So let's get started. Before we get started talking about cultural traditions, I'd like everyone to share with the class which country they come from and where they live now, if it's different. So I'm from the United States, and I live in California. So Daria, where are you from?
Well, I'm from Russia, but I'm living in Spain now.
Oh, great. Where do you live in Spain?
Yes, in Alicante.
Very nice. That's very different from Russia, I imagine.
Yes, but I like it more.
Good. I've been there. It's a beautiful place to go.
I agree.
Is it very hot there right now?
No, I don't think so. It's
I
about
guess
2019, something like that.
I
But it was
see.
cloudy today, so.
Oh, okay. We're having a heat wave in California, and it's much hotter than it normally is. Right now, it's 34 degrees.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So you're lucky.
I'm going to the pool after this.
Oh, great.
And okay, thanks, Daria. And Veronica, where do you come from?
Hello, everybody. I'm from Ecuador, in the middle of the world.
Yes. And do you live in Ecuador now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we have someone from South America. Wonderful. Thank you, Veronica. Sompoy, where do you come from?
Hi, I come from Thailand, but right now I'm living in Ohio, the US.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that you were living in the United States. How are you finding it? Do you like it?
Yes, I like it, but now I'm not like it because it's probably hot. I like when it's in winter.
It was a very cold winter,
Yeah,
and I think it's going to be a hot summer.
yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's 25 now.
Yeah, it's probably going to be not as hot in Ohio as it will be in California, so don't worry about that.
But less than 37.
Yeah. Um, okay, thank you, Sampoy. Jorge, where are you from?
I'm from Colombia, Maureen.
That's right. And do you live in Colombia now?
Yes.
Okay, so you can tell us all about Colombian traditions today.
Yes.
Great. Okay, thank you, Jorge. I'm glad you're back in my class. And Hussein, tell us again, where are you from?
I'm from Turkey. I live in Turkey.
Okay, you can tell us about Turkish traditions. I think they have one in the article. You can tell us if it's true. Okay, thank you, Hussein. And Hide, is that right? Am I saying that correctly?
My name is Heidi.
Hide, that's right, Hide. Okay, and you told me that you were from Japan?
Yes?
Do you live in Japan now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so you can tell us about the Japanese traditions, if they are true or not.
Okay.
Great, thank you. And Diego, remind me again, where do you come from?
I came from Spain,
In Spain? And what part of Spain?
a city called Zaragoza, between Madrid and Barcelona.
Okay, and do you live there now?
Yes, at the moment.
Okay, so you can tell us more about Spain. And thank you, Diego. And Sasha?
Nothing special, Russia.
Okay, nothing special, Russia. Is that the name of the town?
No.
Well, you can help Daria explain Russian traditions in today's class. And you still live in the same place where you come from?
Me, yeah, exactly.
Same here. Okay, thank you, Sasha. And last but not least, we have Adela. Tell everyone where you come from.
I'm from Spain. I'm from Valencia in the east.
In
near
the
to Mediterranean Sea.
That's right. In the east of Spain, you can find Valencia, famous for its oranges.
And fallas.
Yes. Okay, so we've got some Spaniards, we have some South Americans, some Russians, and one person from Turkey and one person from Thailand. That's great. They were a very diverse group. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to turn on my screen share so you can see the article and you can follow along with me. And I'm going to call on you one by one to read the article out loud. So we're going to read out loud to practice pronunciation. And if you see a vocabulary word that you don't know, please let me know or type it into the group chat and we'll use it as a chance to discuss. Okay, so new words, type them into the chat, or unfamiliar words if you're not sure what they mean. Okay, so this is an advanced level class, but don't worry about if you don't know a word. It's all part of the learning process. So let me turn on the screen share and we'll get started.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll read the first bit to get us going, and then when I call your name, it'll be your chance to read aloud, okay? And after each food rule, we're going to discuss it. So the article is from budgettravel.com, and Budget Travel is a magazine in the United States that's about how to travel smartly and cheaply around the world. And I love this magazine because the articles are a lot of fun, like this one. The article is titled 15 International Food Etiquette Rules That Might Surprise You. So does everyone know this word, etiquette?
Yes.
Yes.
So what does it mean? Who would like to explain? What does etiquette mean?
Anna.
Your manners?
A code.
The code. It's
Protocol.
the protocol, all great words to use. Etiquette is the way you must act in order to be polite. So it's the rules to be polite. Good. 15 international food etiquette rules that might surprise you. You use the fork in front of you and suddenly everyone is staring. Why? Table manners are as unique to a culture as the food before you, though not always as easy to navigate. Here, 15 etiquette rules you should know before you travel, by Amanda Ruggieri. Okay? So here's a picture of a woman who's clearly doing something wrong. We don't know what it is, but perhaps we'll find out. So I'll read this first section. You have good manners, right? After all, you usually keep your elbows off the table and say, please pass the salt, right? But when you head abroad, things get a little more complicated. Case in point, rest your chopsticks the wrong way and you might remind a Japanese friend of their grandmother's funeral, Rule 2. Okay, who knows what case in point means? Have you heard that idiom before?
For example.
Exactly. It means for example. It's another way of saying for example when you have a really specific example of the previously stated idea. Okay? So if you're saying, well, this example is a great example. They're talking about rules and then they say case in point. You could just as easily say for example. Good. But knowing what etiquette rules are won't save you from some awkward situations, says Dean Alan Foster, author of the Global Etiquette Guide series. It can help you make friends. It's really a statement of your openness and awareness of the fact that the people you're with may in fact see the world differently, he says. It's simply going to get you out of the tourist bubble. Sound good? Then here are 15 rules to keep in mind. Okay? There's another idiom. This phrase, keep in mind. Have you heard that before?
Yes.
Okay, so it just means the same as to remember. Okay, so why don't we have our resident Thai person read the first section about what to do or not to do in Thailand. Sampoi, can you read that section for us?
Okay. In Thailand, don't put food in your mouth with a fork. Instead, when eating a dish with cooked rice, use your fork only to push food onto your spoon. A few exceptions, some northern and northeastern Thai dishes are typically eaten with the hands. You know you have encountered such a dish if the rice used is glutinous or sticky. Also, standalone items that are not part of a rice-based meal may be eaten with a fork, but say Leela Punyarachanabandu.
Good. Good. I have no idea how to say that either, so good job.
I think it's Thai name. A food writer whose blog at chisimmers.com. The worst thing to do at a traditional rice-based meal would be to use chopsticks. This is awkward and inconvenient at best and tacky at worst, she said.
Oh, okay. So, Sampoi, can you tell us, is this true about Thailand?
Not always, but
Okay,
it's
so
okay
tell us.
to put a food with fork. For example,
Okay.
uh, when I eat pizza in the US, people
Mm-hmm.
usually eat it by hand.
Mm-hmm.
And one day when I just went here, I chop it into pieces and then I use a fork to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Thai people usually eat pizza. And
Oh,
then
they use a fork when they eat pizza.
yes, and my friend kind of, oh, what have you done? We
Yeah.
don't eat that way.
You know, it's not really, I mean, it's true. Most people in the United States would not eat pizza with a fork. They would eat it with their hand, but some people do. And it's funny that you mentioned that because it was very controversial because the mayor of New York City was filmed eating pizza with a knife and fork. And he was a newly elected mayor, and everyone in New York thought, there's no way he's a real New Yorker if he eats pizza with a knife and fork. So it's funny that you mentioned that because it's true. We think it's weird to eat pizza with a knife and fork. It's a street food. You're supposed to eat it with your hands. Um, so it's not always the case that you have to use your fork only to push food onto your spoon. But they say if it's a glutinous or sticky rice, meaning it sticks together or goes in clumps and bigger pieces, then it's okay to eat that with your hands?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, but don't your hands get sticky?
Yes, of course.
How about you wash them? Great. Has anyone in our class traveled to Thailand before?
No, maybe in the future.
Yeah, me neither. So now we know if we go to Thailand, don't put food in your mouth with a fork unless Sampoy says it's okay. Okay, let's move on to Japan. And since we have a Japanese student, Haide, could you please read the section on in Japan?
In Japan, never stick your chopsticks upright in your eyes. Between a bite, your chopsticks should be placed together right in front of you, parallel to the edge of the table. And nowhere else says Mineko Takene. Mineko Takene Moreno, Japanese cooking instructor and co-author of Sushi or Dummies. I'm not sure.
Dummies. Yeah, dummies is a word. It's like saying someone who's an idiot. or someone who is stupid. So there are these books called like Guitar for Dummies or French for Dummies, and it's supposed to be an easy way to learn something.
Like door? When
not exactly.
All the companies have some experiment to crash the cars.
Oh, yeah, yes. So those are also called dummies, like crash test dummies. But dummies also means like it's a friendly way of saying someone who's stupid. So if you were teasing someone in a nice way and they said something stupid, you'd say, "Oh, you dummy." But it's not very mean. It's friendlier. Okay, please continue.
If there's a chopsticks left, you use it. Putting the tips you've been eating with on a rest, but sticking them upright in a bowl of rice is even worse. During funeral in Japan, the rice bowl of the deceased is placed before their coffin.
Okay, so the deceased is the person who died.
With their chopsticks upright in the rice. So what would she rather see someone doing that at a meal or asking for a fork? Mineko doesn't hesitate asking for a fork, she said.
So if you have a hard time using chopsticks, this Japanese cooking instructor, Mineko, says ask for a fork. So it's less polite. That's less polite to stick your chopsticks in your bowl of rice upright because it's a symbol of death, and it might remind someone of a funeral, which you don't want to do that. Not at a dinner party or at a meal. And so, Heide, is this true?
Yes.
It's true. So would you ever do it, even by accident?
Yeah. If you come to Japan for a funeral, there's a coffin. In front of the coffin, there's a small table. Then they put rice bowl, like mountain of rice inside the bowl, and top of that rice mountain, there's a chopstick stand up.
Oh, okay. So for the person who has died, or also known as the deceased. Okay. So don't do that. And I hope to go to Japan, but I do not hope to go to a funeral in Japan. All right. Thank you, Heide. And next we'll have a part on the Middle East. So let's see. Can I have Adela read that part, please?
Me?
Adela.
Yes. In the Middle East, India and parts of Africa, don't eat with your left hand. In South India, you shouldn't even touch the plate with your left hand while eating. That's largely because the left hand is associated with body function. So it's considered to be that, says Foster, don't even pass the important document with your left hand. A lefty, then it's okay to use your left hand as long as you take your right hand out of the game.
Okay, so what they mean by out of the game is if you're left-handed, you have to take your right hand off the table and it should do nothing during the meal. And so they don't get into it in detail, but they say basically you don't want to eat with your left hand because you might use your left hand to do something else. And they consider it dirty. So have you ever traveled in the Middle East or India or anywhere in Africa?
Yes, in Morocco and Tunis, and this is country is not good to use the left hand.
And did you learn that when you were there, or did someone tell you before you went? Did you learn that in the Middle East, or sorry, in?
Oh, sorry.
Did you learn that tradition when you were there?
I don't lefty.
You're not a lefty.
No, I don't have any problem. But
Okay.
my daughter is lefty. Is a little problem because it's not correct.
Yes, I am also not a lefty. I'm right-handed, but both of my brothers are lefties, so they would have some trouble if they went to any of these places. Okay, thank you, Adela. And next, let's hear from Jorge. Can you read about a traditional feast in Georgia?
Okay. A traditional feast in Georgia. It's rude to sip your wine.
Okay, before you read that, does everyone know what they mean by sip your wine? So to sip is to take very small little drinks, okay? Not a big gulp and not to drink a lot, just a little bit at a time. Okay? All right, Jorge, please continue.
Okay. At what Georgians call a supra, traditional feast, wine is drunk only at toast. So wait for those, and then down the whole glass at once. On the upside says Georgia-based photographer and videographer Paul Stephen. The glasses tend to be on the small side.
Oh, so they pour a small amount and you can drink it very quickly at a toast, and then you can still have enough wine to feel a little buzz, as we say. Has any of you heard this phrase before, to feel buzzed? It doesn't mean the same as drunk. It's like a little bit drunk. So you might have a big glass of wine and feel buzzed. Okay, so that's in the country of Georgia at their traditional feasts. So Jorge, can you repeat after me? Feast?
Feast.
And then also, I was going to tell you, just in order to practice our pronunciation a little bit, one tricky thing about English is there are a lot of words with letters that are silent. So when you see the word whole there, then down the whole glass at once, imagine that the W is silent. You don't pronounce it at all. So that's a common word to know. And can everyone repeat after me? Whole.
Whole.
Good. The W is completely silent. Has anyone here ever traveled to Georgia? No, I guess not. It's a small country, and I'm not sure if I'll ever visit, but I'll know if I go that it's rude to sip your wine. Okay, great. And let's see, who wants to go next? Any volunteers to read about Mexico? Okay, Sasha, why don't you tell us about Mexico and what to do with tacos?
I even don't know what a taco is.
That's perfect. I'm glad you brought that up. So tacos are a traditional Mexican dish that are made with corn tortillas. So they take the corn and mash it into a flour, not a flour like a bloom, but almost like a paste. And then on top of that corn tortilla, they put meat and sometimes salsa, and they can put beans and other things. So let me find a picture so you can see what I mean.
As far as I can understand, it's kind of a mixture of a Russian pancake and pizza.
Yeah, but you kind of fold up the tacos. You fold them up on the side. Yeah, so I found an image. Let me see if I can share this with you. Let's see. And I think they might not be very common in some of your countries, but they're very common in California. In fact, I used to own a taco business with my friend. We sold tacos from a small stand. So if you can click on that link, it'll show you a picture of some tacos. They look good. So it's like a little flat pancake, some meat, and then some either onions and cilantro or salsa of some kind. So now that you've learned what a taco is, will you read about tacos in Mexico?
Is it spicy?
Yes, they can be. Most of the time they are.
Then I'd like it.
Oh, good. Yes, a lot of Mexican food can be very spicy. So it's good to know if you like spicy or not if you go to Mexico.
Okay. In Mexico, never eat tacos with a fork and knife. Worried about spilling refried beans and salsa all over your front? Tough. Mexicans think that eating tacos with a fork and knife looks silly and worse, snobby. Kind of like eating a burger with silverware. So be polite, eat with your hands.
Very good. Okay, so a couple of words in there might not be familiar. Who knows what spilling means or to spill?
To spill means that they were together and then they are all over the place.
Yes, exactly. So when you have something and you're trying to keep it together or you're trying to keep it in something, then it falls out, you've spilled it. So if you have a glass of milk and it falls and the milk goes all over the floor, you've spilled the milk.
Mm-hmm.
And how about look silly? I think I used this word the other day in a class. Does anyone know what silly means?
Stupid.
Yes, it kind of means stupid, but it's kind of a nice way to say. It's not offensive.
Slightly stupid.
It can mean
dumb.
it's kind of like dumb and funny at the same time. I like to use the example of SpongeBob SquarePants. Mm-hmm. He's very silly. If you have ever seen this cartoon, it's about a sponge who lives under the ocean, and he's very silly. It's a good example of somebody who acts out that way, okay? But worse, snobby. Who knows what snobby means?
To act like posh people.
Yes, okay. Another way to say posh. It's more common to say snob in the United States than to say posh. So snobby people are rich or popular people who look down on other people, who think that they are not very good people. So it looks kind of like you think that you're more posh than someone who would eat a taco. Okay, and the same thing in the United States. Most people would think that if you ate a burger with a knife and fork, or in general silverware, we eat them with our hands. Okay, I'm going to read the next one because this is something that I learned when I went to Italy.
Me.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
In Italy, drink a cappuccino only before noon. Some Italians say that a late-day cappuccino upsets your stomach, others that a replacement for a meal. It's common to have just a cappuccino or a cappuccino and a croissant for breakfast. Either way, you won't see Italians ordering one in a cafe at 3 p.m. and certainly not after a big dinner. And you'll be instantly branded a tourist if you need that coffee, fixed, tall, and espresso is fine.
Mm-hmm. Good, okay. So you'll be instantly branded a tourist. That means they will instantly know that you are a tourist. And I have to say, I made this mistake. I went to Italy with my mom, and I love cappuccinos. And in California, I have them in the afternoon because I like to have milk in my coffee. But I learned from an Italian friend that the tradition is you are not supposed to have a coffee if you've had anything with tomato. So they say that, a cappuccino should never be had after a tomato. So that means most likely if you have some pasta or pizza for lunch, you've eaten something with tomato, and therefore you cannot have a cappuccino. So I made that mistake, and I learned to not have a cappuccino after I've had a tomato. That's how you'll get by in Italy and look like a local. And once I learned that and I started ordering espresso, no one thought I was Italian because I don't look it, but I at least fit in a little bit better. So that one is one I already knew because I've made this mistake before. Okay, we have a new student joining us. Hi there, is your name Huda? Huda, are you there? Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us. I am going to type the link in the chat box so you can see the article we're reading. Okay, so if you see that, you can click on it and follow along. And we're talking about the rules of etiquette in foreign countries. Okay?
Yeah.
So where do you come from?
I am from Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay. Welcome. Okay, so going back to the text, who wants to read about in Britain? I don't think we've heard from Diego yet. Can you read about in Britain?
Okay. In Britain, always pass the port to the left, and remember the Bishop of Norwich. It's unclear why passing port on the left is so important. Some say it has to do with naval tradition. The port side of a boat is on your left if you are facing the helm. Regardless, facing the decanter to the right is a bit gay, so it's not passing it at all. If you are at a meal and the decanter stalls, then ask the person with it. Do you know the Bishop of Norwich? If they say they don't know him, reply, he's a very good chap, but he always forgets to pass the port. It's somewhere, but it's true. This is such a nationwide tradition. The Telegraph wrote an article on it.
Okay, so it's such a nationwide tradition that they wrote an article on this etiquette of passing the port, and by that they mean the type of alcohol that's common from Portugal, and they usually have that after a meal, and you're supposed to only pass it to the left. They don't know if it has to do with naval tradition, meaning they used to bring port back from Portugal on a boat, and that's where they call the side of the boat on the left, that's called the port side. And there's this line, regardless, passing the decanter to the right is a big gaffe. You've probably never heard this word before, gaffe. Does anyone know what that means?
Bad luck.
Sorry?
Bad luck.
Bad luck. Yes, it more means a mistake. Or you didn't know something, so you made a small mistake that looks embarrassing to you. Okay, so yeah, if you don't know someone's name, or someone introduces themselves and then you forget their name and you call them by the wrong name, that would be a gaffe. Yeah, Jorge says a screw up, but screw up is a little bit more serious. A gaffe can be just kind of like a silly little mistake that doesn't have to be very serious, like forgetting someone's name. Are there any other words in that section that you didn't know? Anyone? Or that aren't familiar?
Yeah, I don't understand the expression. It's say the decanter stalls.
Okay, so the decanter is the glass that the port is poured into, and you use it to pour out the port into the glasses, into the individual glasses. So it's a big kind of, sometimes it's made of crystal. And when it stalls, that means it stops moving. So when something stalls, it stops moving. So the best example is when your engine stalls and your car stops. But in this case, they're saying that the port is being passed around the room so that everyone can have some, and then someone holds on to it and forgets to pass it along. So it stalls and stops at that person.
Okay.
Okay, good question, though. Okay, and we have only a few minutes, so let's move on and see if we can get at least one or two more. So you have to skip this ad, skip all the ads. Here's another one that I've heard before, although I don't know if I did this or not when I went to France. So
can I do that?
Yes, Hussein, yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. In France, don't eat your bread as an appetizer before the meal. Instead, eat it as an accompaniment to your food, or especially to the cheese course at the end of the meal. That's one thing that would be a faux pas anywhere else. Placing bread directly on the table and not on a plate is perfectly acceptable in France. In fact, it's preferred.
I have heard that, not to put it on the plate, but you put it directly on the table. And so one thing in there is this this phrase faux pas. That's actually from French, and we use it in English very commonly, and it means a mistake. Like a social etiquette mistake. So similar to the word gaffe, it's not a very serious mistake, but you've made a small mistake in the social etiquette. Okay, so yeah, I've also heard in France it's tradition to take, you walk home from work and buy a baguette in the boulangerie, and then you bite off the top, or you tear off the top and eat a bit on your way home. So they have some funny traditions about bread in France. Okay.
It's very common there.
Yes, they eat bread with most of their meals, and their bread is very well known for being the best bread in the world. I even heard that they were having a bit of a bread crisis because so many people were doing the gluten-free diet where they weren't eating any bread.
And there are a lot of types of bread. It's a lot of types of bread they have.
They do. And the Germans are competitive with them because the Germans are very proud of their bread. I like the bread in Germany better because it's very full of good nutrients. Okay, so I would like to give Daria a chance to read one. So could you choose any one of the traditional rules, and please read it for everyone.
About Russia?
Anyone you want. It's your choice.
Okay, never mix or turn down vodka in Russia.
Okay.
The beverage is always drunk neat, and no, not even with ice. Adding anything is seen as polluting the drink's purity.
Purity.
Okay, unless the mixer is beer, which produces a formidable beverage known as Yorsh. Okay, but there is another faux pas.
That's right.
Faux pas. That's even worse, says Foster. When you are offered a drink and you turn it down, since offering someone a drink is a sign of trust and friendship, it's a good idea to take it, even if it is 9 a.m.
All right, so Daria, is that true about Russia and vodka?
Yes, but we have a lot of cocktails with vodka, so I don't know.
Yeah, that might be a little too strict because I think everybody likes to mix, but maybe it's not good for foreigners to insist on mixing if they're in someone's home or if they are offered just vodka neat. So this is an interesting phrase for any of you who drink alcohol. When it says something neat, it means with no ice and nothing else. It's just the alcohol in its plain form. And so this phrase is only used to refer to alcohol. For example, if I went to a bar, I could order whiskey neat. That means maybe an ounce of whiskey, no ice, no Coca-Cola, nothing. And that you can only use that to refer to alcohol. So if someone orders vodka neat or whiskey neat, any of those things means with no mix-ins. Okay, I think we have time to read one more. So Huda, have you gotten a chance to read? Can you read one
Yeah.
of the... Sorry?
Okay.
Your
Can I
choice.
read in China? Okay,
Yeah, you can read
because
in
I'm
any
not
one
sure
you want.
if someone before me. Okay,
Which
in
one?
China, don't
Yes.
flip the. In China.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Although you might be used to flipping over a whole fish once you have finished one side. Don't, at least not when you are in China, especially southern China and Hong Kong. That's because flipping the fish is Dao in Chinese, a phrase similar to bad luck. Plus says Foster. To flip the fish over is like saying that the fishman's boat is going to capsize. The most super super superstitious
It's a tough one.
statistician
Superstitious.
super
Mm-hmm.
superstitious
Very good.
leave the bottom part. Superstitious.
Mm-hmm.
Superstitious
That's
will
right. It
leave
means someone who
the
believes
bottom
that something bad
part.
will happen.
The bottom part untouched, while other will pull off the bone itself to get to the bottom.
Okay, very good. So in China, don't flip the fish because it not only means bad luck, it means you think the fisherman's boat is going to capsize. That means the same as to sink. And this is for superstitious people. So people who believe in good and bad luck are superstitious, and they might be more superstitious based on the country. My family, my grandparents came from Ireland, and that's a very superstitious country. They believe in good luck and bad luck, and they are very careful not to give anyone bad luck. Okay, so has anyone in the class been to China before? I've never been, but if I go, I'll know not to flip the fish. All right, everyone, that's it for today. I hope you learned something new, maybe some new words or phrases, or at the very least, some etiquette rules for your travels. If you have any questions, please send me an email, and I hope to see you in some of my classes. I'll have more coming up in the next few weeks, so look out for those. And thanks again.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Excuse me?
Thank you. See
Yeah.
you.
Excuse me?
Yes?
Hello?
Hi.
Excuse me.
Can you hear me?
Superstitious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Superstitious.
Mm-hmm.
This word, English word or Chinese word, and translate for English word.
It's an English word, and it means, well, like I said, someone who believes in good and bad luck is superstitious.
Yeah, bad luck.
So it's an adjective. It's an adjective in English.
Superstitious is
Very
good
good.
word. Superstitious. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. You're very welcome. Nice to meet you,
Bye.
Huda. I'll see you soon.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.